So it's Wednesday, and we're going to talk a little NXT, and this is basically to give you a refresher course, to remind you of the events from last week's episode, and we're going to take you into the show that's airing tonight on the WWE Network at 8 o'clock. So that's basically what this video is all about. The show pretty much starts with highlights from Beast in the East, basically showing Brock Lesnar obliterating all three members of the New Day, and it had a lot of great video package like WWE normally is known for, and it works really well. Now, there is a podcast that Aaron, Ashley, and myself did at 8 o'clock in the morning, live, that is almost 3 hours long, that you can check out if you'd like to talk about our thoughts on the show. And basically, this show also starts with the fact that they promised to show Finn Balor winning the NXT Championship from Kevin Owens. I don't know exactly how much they'd show of it, but they do offer that option later on in the show. So we actually get into Full Sail, and we start off our first match, and the ring introductions are being done by my good friend Greg Hamilton. And Greg Hamilton, interestingly enough, introduces Dana Brooke, and says, accompanied to the ring by her tag team partner, Emma. He'll get the nomenclature down, no worries. And here comes Sasha Banks, right? So obviously, Sasha Banks had a week to find a partner to face off against Dana Brooke and Emma, and that match was going to happen, and as I predicted, it was going to end up being Charlotte. Well, it took a minute to get to that. Dana says, "You say you're the boss of NXT? Really?" Apparently we're going to call her a Buckeye Jersey girl, because obviously she's from Ohio. She's from outside of Cleveland. And she came off sounding Jersey. It's weird. It was like, I don't know where it came from. So, we move on. We were right. You couldn't find a partner. Sasha grabs the mic and the fans are chanting for Blue Pants. Not to be this time around. You know what? You're right. I couldn't find a partner. But if you think I'm scared of you, Miss Piggy, and your kangaroo friend... That made me laugh. Well, guess what? I'll take on both of you. And of course the fans are chanting off like a boss. Here comes Charlotte out. Charlotte says, you know what, Sasha, I'll be your partner, but you owe me one. So the BFFs are back together for one night only. And that is your opening match on NXT this past week. It is the former BFFs, the NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks and Charlotte taking on the Vixens, I like to call them, of Emma and Dana Brooke. So this match picks up real quick. There is a nice tandem round kick, one to the front, one to the back, to Dana Brooke, and we get the BFF taunt. I thought that was pretty awesome. So Dana and Emma cut the ring off on Charlotte, and Emma with the body scissors on Charlotte. Charlotte counters out of it. Emma decks Charlotte, tags Dana in, and a couple shoulder blocks, and a, basically a fireman's carry slam. I'm not calling it Wasteland here because that didn't work. For a near fall, locks on a modified bow and arrow, and rolled back into a cover for only a 1 count. Tags Sasha in, comes in like a house of fire. 2 clotheslines, knock Emma off the ring apron for good measure. Fez press, shotgun knees to the chest and then to the shoulders while she was in a seated position. Stack pin, and Emma makes a save. Sasha shoves Emma to the floor. Dana nails her from behind, goes for the better than you driver, and it's countered into the bank statement. Charlotte locks Emma in the figure 8 and double submission, just like we saw on Raw Monday night, which of course this happened before it happened on Raw, so technically I could say this happened on NXT first, and everyone got to see it on Raw on Monday night. So they shake hands, they hug. Charlotte gets on the mic and says, you know what, hey woman, a deal's a deal. I want a title shot next week, like you promised. Sasha's like, that's what you want? You know what? Guess what, sister? It's on. So, it's official. This week, tonight, on NXT, you see the NXT Women's Championship on the line. The boss, Sasha Banks, defending against Charlotte. And I'm very much looking forward to this. Guarantee this is probably going to end up being the main event, and deservingly so. So, Bayley's in the back, and this was filmed at, like, in the back of the house show over the weekend. Emma broke her hand, and she says her first goal when she comes back is to become women's champion. She brings up the fact of names like Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin. They got hurt before, and then they came back, and they became champions. So, when she comes back, her first order of business before she goes after the Women's Championship is to take care of Emma and make sure that she gets more than a hug. So, I've been talking about Bayley winning the NXT Women's Championship for a while now, and I think that that's probably the right direction to go, given the fact that the other 3 members of the 4 Horsewomen are going to be on Raw from now on, apparently. I think there's a really good possibility that Bayley ends up with the championship. Maybe Bayley working with both Dana Brooke and Emma. Because I have a good feeling, I don't like this, but I know they're really heavy on pushing her. I think either Dana Brooke or Eva Marie will take the championship off Sasha Banks. And I think that probably will end up happening tomorrow, because they are filming 4 weeks of NXT television to take you all the way up to TakeOver. And that's going to be done tomorrow night in Full Sail University. And if you are in Winter Park, or if you're in surrounding Winter Park, I'm afraid I've got some bad news, because tickets are sold out completely. Can't get in. So if you are checking out Full Sail University right now, you can't get anything in the box office. But sometimes, if you go to Full Sail on Twitter, they actually have contests where you could win tickets. And that's how I got to go to TakeOver Our Evolution. So if you go to @FullSail, there is a very, very slight possibility that there might be some limited seats left, and you may have a chance to attend the NXT tapings tomorrow in Full Sail. But if not, then you obviously can watch it the next 4 weeks on the WWE Network. So, I progress here. I like this, obviously. I think Bayley is going to end up getting the championship, but I think it's the right direction to go. We show an abbreviated version of the Finn Balor Goes Home, and basically, they also show about 7 minutes of Owens and Balor, where Balor took the NXT Championship in Japan, and then afterwards, he was congratulated by Tatsumi the Dragon Fujinami, and of course, when he extended his hand to Kevin Owens pretty much left without a word. So it's funny because they actually caught up to him after the match was over, and there's like, "Hey Kevin, do you have any words for what just happened out there after losing the championship?" And Owens looks up, groggy as all get out, and basically gets up really fast and shoves the camera away. So I like that. I thought that worked really well. Definitely worked really well for Kevin Owens' gimmick at this point. So we get Devin Taylor in the back, of course. She's with Chad Gable. Last week, Chad Gable offered one more time the golden opportunity to Jason Jordan to become a tag team once again. And he's like, you know what? Maybe I'm talking on deaf ears at this point. Like, week after week, Jason Jordan just turns me down. Like, you know what? He must want to stay at the bottom. He doesn't like being a winner. So, finally, Jason Jordan shows up and he's like, you know what? Fine. I'll give you a chance. And they shake hands, and of course, when they shake hands, over the forearm of Chad Gable is his rally towel. So, the team of Chad Gable and Jason Jordan is finally coming to NXT television as of next week, as in tonight. So, they should be debuting tonight. We get Solomon Crow in the back, and he's in his crow's nest, which is basically like a command center, pretty much. He says he's meaner, he's badder, and he's nastier than ever before. Call him your resident little monster. So he must be a Gaga fan. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Solomon Crow in singles action against Marcus Louis, which still looks like a horror villain, looks like a Skeletor from Halloween Horror Nights, and a lot of people say he looks like Kane got shrunk. Pretty much, this match is short, straight to the point. It's an elongated squash, but it actually worked for what it was. 2 chops, he no-sells them, and a big right hand finally drops Louis. Abdominal stretch, and he talks to his hand. It's like, literally, it's like, you know the sassy, like, talk to the hand, like, you don't go there. It's like, basically, that's what he did. He kind of talked to his hand before he did anything. So, yeah, Booker T does it too, and no one ever said anything to him about it. And then he takes his hand like a claw, like Baron Von Raschke, and he grinds it into the ribcage during the abdominal stretch. I thought that was really unique, and I really enjoyed that. Knee strikes out of it, and he basically gets like a cravat knee strike and a jawbreaker from Solomon Crow. Crow escapes out of it. Louis cuts him off with a knee lift, and he talks trash to him. So that allows Crow to follow up with a rebound forearm and 2 double chops, an arm wringer to a swinging twist of fate, which looked awesome, by the way. Charging knee in the corner, the front drop kick drops him down. He locks on the crowbar, which is the the stretch muffler, and he gets the submission. So a big win for Solomon Crowe. Hopefully they do more stuff with him. I do think that there is a golden opportunity to do something with Solomon Crowe, because he has the ability, he has the style, and he's over with the crowd. So I really think they do something more with him, and I think that that's the right direction to go. So we get a promo from the Vaudevillains. Simon Gotch says, after a long absence, the Vaudevillains have made their triumphant return to NXT. And then Aiden English says, now we're going to do as men do to become #1 contenders. So this is set up down the line. And it's going to be your main event. It's going to be for the #1 contendership to the NXT Tag Team Championships, currently held by Blake and Murphy. And it doesn't say when this title shot's going to happen. I'm guessing it either happens over the course of the next 4 weeks during the tapings tomorrow, or they wait until Barclays Center for SummerSlam weekend and do it that time, which could happen too. We get something that we saw as a video package that was basically I saw on .com, I believe, and it is Cesaro and Adrian Neville wearing a Dragon Gate shirt, by the way, and they are congratulating Finn Balor, and John Cena comes in and congratulates Balor, and Balor is basically shown after the match is over, said it was basically a dream come true winning the NXT Championship, especially in Japan. It makes a lot more sense for him to win in Japan. So we get our main event tag team action, a big cast, Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore, of course, with Carmella in their corner, taking on the team of the Vaudevillains, Simon Gotch and Aiden English. And it's great because Cass gets on the mic and shows the seriousness of this match. It's like, it's time to put up or shut up. Duke's up, boys. So I like that. I like that a lot, actually. I think it works really well. So we pick it up off the point of the match. It was a short match, but it actually had a lot of reason to happen. Obviously, they want Blake and Murphy, and they want the Tag Team Championships. So, a side slam by Cass on Aiden English for a near fall. Tags Enzo in, and Cass slams Enzo on Aiden English for a near fall again. Snap jabs, and a big right hand drops Aiden. Charges in. Aiden gets both boots up in the face of Enzo for a near fall. Tag in Simon Gotch, and he nails a spring off the bottom rope elbow and a running boot off the ropes from Aiden English. Only get a near fall on that one as well, because the foot of Enzo ends up under the bottom rope, so the referee calls for the break. So Gotch cuts off Enzo's tag and tags Aiden in. He hits a leg drop from a slingshot position, which looked awesome for a near fall there. So Enzo fights his way out of the corner and finally tags into Big Cass. Clothesline sends Simon Gotch over the top to the floor. Charging splash in the corner and a spinning slam to Aiden English. He punches Gotch off the ring apron. Roll up from Aiden English with the tights, somewhat. 1-2 and no, a kick out. Big boot into the black hole slam, and he calls for Enzo to go for the rocket launcher. Enzo heads up top. Gotch ends up grabbing the foot, so he can't do anything. Cass can't follow up. Enzo's like, screw it. Flying body press and a roll through from Aiden English. 1, 2, 3, and the Vaudevillains are going to have a shot at Blake and Murphy in the NXT Tag Team Championships. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that actually works really well because the fans are really, really wanting to see the Vaudevillains win the tag team titles. Because obviously they were working with the Lucha Dragons at the time. And the crowd in Full Sail was kind of split half and half. So now you have a babyface version of the Vaudevillains, and they are, after the tag team titles, held by the team that everyone dislikes. So this works really well. The problem is, this still leaves blank the final page of the Cinderella story that's Enzo and Cass, and them winning the tag team titles. What I think honestly will happen here, I think there's a good chance that Blake and Murphy will possibly get past the Vaudevillains. And then somehow, some way, there's going to be some sort of a #1 contendership involved in like a battle royal, or a multi-man match, or just a singles match. Something, some way will get a match at Barclay in Brooklyn between Enzo and Cass and Blake and Murphy one last time. And I do see Enzo and Cass winning the titles. I think that makes perfect sense. The story of Bayley winning the Women's Championship and Enzo and Cass winning the Tag Team Championships, they go hand in hand. They really do. And I think that they're both going to be great storylines to kick us into the fall of NXT programming. So yeah, I like this a lot. I think it worked. It was a good edition of NXT. Obviously, the people that did not get a chance to watch Kevin Owens and Finn Balor from Japan at Beast in the East, that's just a little bit. Just to whet your appetite. Go check out their actual match. That match was awesome. Over 20 minutes of action, back and forth. Saw a lot in this match. It wasn't Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor. It ended up being Prince Devitt versus Kevin Steen. Why? Because they broke out a lot of things that they usually don't break out in wrestling matches. We saw Bloody Sunday. Obviously, you can't call it that in the WWE in a PG era, but we saw Bloody Sunday. That was awesome. That does not happen very often. This is the first time that Balor's hit it in NXT. And any sort of WWE ring. He really was. And Michael Cole was actually on his game with the commentary, which actually was something I feel embarrassed to mention, but it's true. So that was NXT this past week, and joining NXT that we're going to talk about next week, it's going to be airing tonight on the WWE Network at 8 o'clock, so check that out. If you are also feel like watching some more wrestling, Ring of Honor at 8 o'clock on Destination America, Impact Wrestling at 9 o'clock on Destination America, and I believe Lucha Underground on El Rey at 8 o'clock. Also, I think it's either 8 or 9. I know it's Lucha Underground on El Rey, so check that out if you get a chance. And if you don't watch them live, DVR them or TiVo, something like that, or just find a way to watch them because wrestling is Wednesday now. So there you go. That's what we've got for this week. Brand new Sip and Snack coming at you tomorrow. We're going to focus on some breakfast. And Friday, AJ's movie reviews will be tackling Ant-Man and Trainwreck. And it sounds like True Story might be on that video as well. Saturday, Gaming with Ash will be returning. Sunday, brand new Versus, and that's coming your way. Halloween Horror Nights news. I already did a podcast with the Horror Nights updaters talking about the official announcement of Crimson Peak Maze of Madness coming to Hollywood. A little birdie told me that tomorrow there will be an announcement, and if that does go down, 11 o'clock tomorrow night on Pop will be another Halloween Horror Nights Popcast. Joining me will be a lot of special guests. I'm guessing a lot of the Horror Nights updaters. I'm going to guess that Tristan will probably be a part of it. I'm guessing James will probably be a part of it. And who knows, maybe we'll get some new guests that we haven't had on the podcast before. So that's coming your way, and also a lot of things coming. Battleground is this coming Sunday, so we look forward to that. We're going to do a live podcast. Obviously, we're going to go with our podcast right after Battleground is over. And we may have return of a couple of special guests. Cleveland may be making his return. It's a very good possibility. Kick us into Raw the next night. And, of course, that'll be available if you don't listen to it live. It'll be available on archive on Tuesday. So check that out. And continued success to Pop here. We are very, very close to that 1,000 subscriber mark. We're like a little bit under 20 people away from hitting that. So getting 1,000 subs in the next week, yes, we can. So that's what we've got coming your way, and the views are definitely there. Thank you for watching anything on this channel, whether it's wrestling, whether it's Horror Nights, whether it's movies, whether it's Versus, whether it's Sip and Snack, whatever it is. Thank you very much for watching it, and thank you for contributing to this Popcaster revolution that we have a rebirth on as we have the new version of Pop 2K15. So, that being said, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, help spread the word about Pop. If you haven't yet, go to Facebook, just takes a second, click like on our Facebook fan page. It's Sir Owen Disney Pop, or search for Sir Owen Disney and Pop if you want to search for it manually. While you're there, you can go ahead and friend request me on Facebook. I accept friend requests. I have no issues with new friends, no problems with that at all. If you want to tweet me, it's at Sir Owen Disney, and you can check us out on Movie Pilot, moviepilot.com/Sir Owen Disney. Very soon, we're working on a mobile app for iOS, so that's something that's on the horizon as well. And also, last but certainly not least, you want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions. You want to ask me trip questions. You want to ask me wrestling questions. Talk TNA. You want to talk WWE. You want to ask me personal questions I can't answer on here for a good reason. If you want to meet up at Halloween Horror Nights, if you want to ask me about Halloween Horror Nights, we can talk that. We can talk Disney, Universal. If you would like to become a popcaster, if you are a theme park or wrestling podcast, would like me to be a part of your show, all you got to do, email me, siroandisney@gmail.com. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.